We're here today at the ARC Forum talking with Rodney Duran, who's a vice president at L&T Technology Services. Rodney, could you introduce yourself and L&T Technology Services just a little bit?
Sure. Thanks. So again, my name is Rodney Duran. I'm the Vice President of Digital Manufacturing Services for North America. And what that means is I cover Canada, USA, and Mexico. I'm part of a larger team, which is Larsson and Pral. And Larsson and Pral has their engineering services team, which is LTTS is how we call it. And that has, we're 22,000+ engineers distributed worldwide. So I'm just representing a smaller team here, but as well as the larger team offshore.
Wow. So a lot of complaints we hear from people is their inability to hire skilled talent, all right, particularly in the technical arenas. Last week's 3.4% unemployment rate was an indicator of how difficult it is to hire people. Could you talk a little bit about how you help alleviate that problem among your customers in terms of providing skills that they need?
Yes. So it's kind of a twofold answer. So first of all, what we're trying to do is how can we identify areas where we can improve, that we can automate, so that we can release the people that are there and be able to do more interesting jobs, right? By creating new and more interesting jobs, we have now broadened the scope of people that will be interested in working there, right? So it's not mundane functions and I'm just pushing things around or picking things up or putting a label on something. No, all of that, once all of that has been automated, which is fairly simple today, now we can have this interest on, I do want to work for your company. What is it that you guys are doing? Then the second part of that is, okay, now that we have alleviated that, now we need to work into training, right? So how do we train people that is very satisfying, that they learn? And this is where we introduce, AR, and I know it's being used a lot, but and VR training, which is fantastic, right? Because we could put the actual setting and people can touch things, can move it and really learn and get qualified properly before they're running operations that are intrinsic or could damage something, or put themselves at risk.
Wow. So the companies here at the forum are all using enterprise level applications, ERP, supply chain, MES, a whole bunch of domain areas, product development, and their businesses depend on those things to run. Could you talk a little bit about the products and services you offer to help those companies with those types of applications?
Yes, absolutely. So what we see in today is that most companies, and again, I'm sorry that I keep on going to the bigger picture and then kind of zeroing in, but most companies are growing by inorganic growth, right? So there's a lot of inorganic growth. I'm buying this guy, I'm buying these other companies, which makes sense because they're strategically aligned, right? With that, they're bringing that extreme variety of systems, right? So, I run on this platform, I run on that platform, and by the way, I like it, so don't you dare tell me to use this other one. And we get all of that. So that has amplified the need to be able to have people like us that we can come in and say, okay, wait a second. Let's identify which is indeed your best system. And if you want to create a standard, let's deploy that standard and we can help you do that. But by the way, you have to go yet another step backwards and say, okay, from a process perspective, let's align first all the processes. Now you have all the processes aligned. Now we can keep on moving our way up into the ERP system. So how product is being moved, how product is being inventoried, how product is being shipped. So everything is truly considered. And that's where we come in, right? So we're able to see the whole, it's the whole operations. We see it as an entity, and then we can say, okay, this is really what makes sense. And of course, we'll do value stream maps and stuff like that, because that's the easy way to plot it and understand clearly. And besides, it's the easiest way to sell it to the C-suite, right? Because I believe that a lot of the issues that today happen that they're not funded, it's because we are unable to clearly communicate what the problem is and why is it that we need to make this investment. Not just because of money. The money is going to follow. The revenue is going to follow if we have a streamless manufacturing process, if we have very little inventory. Oh my gosh, that's where most money is, inventory. Why carry it? So those are the 2 or 3 things that we definitely focus heavily to present to our clients. And we don't just point it out. We roll our sleeves. We get in there with them. We get it done. And I mean, I think that's really what has been our huge success factor.
Wow.
And we do it worldwide, right? Yeah.
So yeah, that leads me into my next question. And one thing we heard from a lot of the users presenting their case stories is that an impediment is a lack of a good business case. And this business case drives a whole bunch of other things. If you have a good business case, you get the resources, you get the C-suite support. Do you offer tools to, and digital transformation is pretty complex, and sometimes people have a tough time getting a good handle of it. So developing a business case is non-trivial sometimes. Could you talk a little bit about how you help your customers through that to develop a business case that leads to the success of the project?
That's a great question. I think we're fortunate. I have really talented individuals working in my team. I have one guy who has a PhD, and he's done nothing but technical roadmaps all his life, right? He's taught in many known and renowned universities. And you go, okay, so why do we do this? And so when we are able to develop a strong technology roadmap, now it has strategic significance. It's not the flavor of the month. It's not, I just heard this, I just met this guy. It's not, all of that goes away. When there's a true, strong strategic purpose, it's best teamed up with a technical roadmap. Now, who doesn't understand that? Everybody does. So that it's simple. But mapping it is critical. We offer that service. So absolutely, we do that consulting level at either at the C-suite level or at the plant level as required. Many people fail to do those plans, maybe, or they're not as effective, and therefore, or they try to do them themselves, right? Well, why not take advantage of people like ourselves? I mean, we're here. I mean, we're really relatively, we're very affordable, so it's not a cost. I mean, I'm sure they waste more in coffee for their employees in some instances. So it's so easy to engage the experts that have done it many times and can quickly come to a very strong and powerful technology roadmap that then can be built upon, right? So again, I'm always thinking of foundational blocks. That's my foundation block. So then here we have this, now we can come to the budget, okay? And besides, a good technology wrap does space things out, right? You're not gonna eat the whole elephant. No, we're gonna do this first, then we're gonna do this first, and this is gonna build on this, and then all of a sudden, now you're there, right? Being overly aggressive is also something that I have seen. Right? Some people come to me, oh yeah, we want this in 6 months, and I go, oh, that's interesting. It just shows me that they don't have a grasp of the complexity that we're really getting into. And it's not getting less complex, it's getting more complex. So therefore, if we don't have a strong foundational block building, people get lost on that journey. And then if people switch, and the other guy's coming in, he's saying, well, I don't like this flavor, let me redo this, and then all of a sudden it just goes south. Right?
I really like how you described that, eating the elephant and building a strategy. It allows a company to build on success and reach further heights of digital transformation.
Yes.
We've been speaking with Rodney Duran of L&T Technology Services. Thank you for listening.